This woman died 8 times on her wedding day. Each death was different. The first time bandits blocked the road. The bride's head fell off. The second time she avoided the bandits. When getting off the sedan chair, her foot slipped. Her neck snapped. The third time she successfully walked through the gate. She was burned to death. The fourth time she avoided the fire basin, but was crushed to death by a plaque. The fifth time she was actually pushed by her own subordinates into a corner and killed. The last time, she finally made it into the main hall, had a drink to relax, but it turned out to be poison wine. She still died. Finally reaching the step of marrying the prince, the general publicly disrupted the wedding to prove his devoted love for the prince. The female lead stabbed a knife into the general's waist. Who would have thought the next second, the prince also stabbed a knife into the female lead's waist. Before the prince could react, the general also stabbed him with a knife. The three of them stabbed each other with knives in the street. It turned out she was originally an unknown small actress who accidentally entered a script and became the protagonist. The script's female lead's younger sister had an affair with a male lead.
他可是你的姐夫啊！
从前是姐夫，以后便是丈夫。
They were both pregnant, taken hostage by rebel forces. The male lead shot arrows at them without hesitation. The female lead was severely injured. The female lead's younger sister was pushed off the city tower. The male lead sacrificed himself to save the sister, but showed complete disdain for herself, who also fell from the tower. This time traveling into the script world, the female lead decided never to marry the male lead again. However, these repeated deaths caused the script to malfunction again. When she opened her eyes, she had traveled back half a year before the wedding. Her subordinates held $20 billion before her eyes, making her eyes dazzle. There were 100 subordinates in the courtyard serving and waiting. It was truly having food brought to her mouth and clothes put on her. This day at the flower viewing banquet, the female lead didn't want to attend to avoid dying miserably. Her subordinates forcibly pulled her up to dress and apply makeup. At the banquet, she saw a familiar person. It was the vicious bad woman from the script. The female lead rushed forward to insult her, wanting to provoke the other party to lock her in a dark room. Unexpectedly, she was directly pushed away. At this moment, time suddenly stopped. The female lead fell into the lake. Then the male lead fished her out of the lake. The female lead would rather die than have anything to do with the male lead, so she turned around to leave. As expected, an accident happened. Before the male lead could react, he saw the female lead grab his little hand, shyly saying she wanted to marry him. The male lead looked shocked. Then the female lead hugged his head, standing on tiptoes, and kissed him directly. The male lead shyly pushed the female lead away, turned to run away, but uncontrollably did a gorgeous turn, looked down affectionately, and kissed the female lead. Everyone present was stunned, and everything that happened, only the female lead knew the reason. This matter not only spread to the palace, but also spread throughout all the officials' mansions. The streets were also full of discussion. On the other side, the male lead thought this was the perfect opportunity to obtain treasure. So the next day, he started his dream to chasing plan. Directly sent the female lead a large pile of gold, silver, and treasures. The female lead was looking with fascination when she heard it was sent by the male lead. In shock, she directly refused. Then she went shopping on the street. Without saying a word, she rushed to pay. Turning around and seeing the male lead, the female lead was so scared, she ran away. The second time, the female lead bought a candied hawthorn stick to eat. After just 2 bites, she was surrounded by a team of soldiers, scaring the female lead to cry on the spot. This day, the female lead and her friend were being chased by a group of thugs. The male lead happened to pass by, was forcibly pulled back by the script to block harm. The male lead hurriedly apologized and turned to leave. But when the assailant attacked again, he retreated back once more. The male lead asked them to wait until he walked far away before attacking. But the script's force setting. The third time, he still involuntarily retreated back. Once again saved the female lead. It turned out everything was the script's force setting. The male lead must protect the female lead's safety, block all harm for the female lead. The male lead thought the female lead was a monster, so he picked up a bow and arrow and shot at the female lead. However, what he didn't expect was, when the arrow was about to hit the other party, he suddenly flew over to block the arrow. The male lead felt angry, wanted to strangle her to death, but his right hand couldn't stop reaching over. Left hand strangling, right hand pulling. Couldn't stop it. Killing her with bare hands didn't work, so he used weapons. He brought her home, tied her to a stool, put on thick armor, selected different weapons to kill her. A subordinate handed him a crossbow that kills with 1 shot, but the male lead was afraid he would save her again and die himself. A subordinate handed him a spiked 1,000 gold iron hammer. Using this would definitely cause death by bleeding within 7 days. The male lead thought the time was too long. Subordinates continued handing weapons. The male lead refused, wanting to select weapons himself. The female lead took the opportunity to break free from the ropes. Just as she was about to escape, the male lead casually threw 3 darts, but he actually arrived faster than the darts. Since weapons didn't work, then used poison, but the male lead was afraid of death, requested making curable poison rather than deadly poison. Then a table of delicious food was served: red stir-fried cabbage, green braised chicken feet. The poisoning was done so carelessly, the female lead was speechless and turned to leave. At this time, the male lead pinched the female lead's mouth and stuffed food in. Sure enough, as expected, the chopsticks made a 360-degree turn. The male lead decided to use a big move, had his subordinates lock him in a room, and securely chain him with iron chains. With an evil smile, feeling he would definitely succeed this time, sent people to push the female lead into the lake. When the female lead thought she was about to die here, the male lead locked in the room broke down the door, like crazy and out of control, jumped into the water, then gave her oxygen. The female lead successfully reached shore. Finally, the male lead was covered in injuries. He Saturday in the courtyard questioning life.